Hi there guys, it's Nick here from Enhanced Physio, and in today's video we are going to be further exploring our topic on sleep, and I'm going to be sharing my personal sleep hygiene habits and some of my considerations around getting enough sleep. So when I speak to people about sleep and their sleeping habits and kind of some of the things that I do, a lot of people they're quite shocked or taken aback at the way I kind of approach it. I think a lot of people see that myself and Roz really get up quite early in the mornings, but what you probably don't see is that we also quite early to bed. So just with regards to how much sleep you should kind of get, the science kind of like varies a little bit, but for myself personally, and speaking from my own experience, 7 hours is usually quite a good sleep for me. And whether I wake up at 4:15 or 6:30, I can kind of make sure that I'm in bed at the time that I need to be, so that I can kind of get that 7 hours, so that I feel refreshed and kind of cognitively ready for the day. Now, there's some things, and I kind of get quite pedantic about my sleep, but there's so much research and evidence for how sleep helps our physiology improve, our sort of cognitive ability in the next days, how we recover from exercise and actually adapt and kind of get stronger, and it helps our physical performance. Those are some of the reasons why I do get quite pedantic about my sleep, and here's some of the things that I do. So caffeine, just personally, I'm quite sensitive to caffeine, so I normally limit myself at about sort of 3 cups of coffee per day. I usually only drink like bean or ground filter coffee. I drink it black, so either in the plunger or AeroPress or the mop pot, whatever sort of coffee paraphernalia devices that I have, but I limit it to 3 in a day at absolute most, and the last one is generally before 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So 2 o'clock generally I try and have whatever it is, my last coffee for the day, just because I don't want that caffeine to kind of be creeping in and affecting the time that it takes me to fall asleep at night. Something else that I do is also just have sort of like a habit or routine around my like preparation for sleep. My personal problem is that generally, if I've had like a crazy day or there's a lot of things happening in sort of from the work aspect or life aspect, I don't really consciously unwind at the end of the day when I get home, and then I sit in bed and my mind's still racing, but I haven't basically prepared myself to kind of unwind and switch off and have a good night's sleep. So for me, the winding down is really a big part of that. Generally what me and Roz try and do is that by the time we get to supper, which is, it varies, obviously when this video is coming out, we like kind of level 3 of lockdown, but it's different in our kind of normal day-to-day, and it's been different for lockdown as well. But generally, by the time we sit down and have supper, that's it. The work day is done. No more admin and thing takes place. It's kind of just enjoying some time together and slowly calming down, quieting down, and getting ready for sleep. Generally, we don't eat too close to bed either. That's something that I also try and do. I normally have about at least an hour or 30 minutes after my last meal before I will hop into bed. Something else, I also try and consume most of my fluids or liquids throughout the day and afternoon, and again sort of about 3 p.m. really start cutting that back. I might add a sort of small chamomile tea after dinner, just to also kind of help wind me down and calm me down for sleep. Another thing that I do is that I use a diffuser. Roz actually gave me one for my birthday as a gift. You kind of just fill it with a little bit of water and some essential oils, and we try and use essential oils that also kind of promote calming, relaxation, that type of thing. and I normally have that going in the bedroom before we even get into bed. So some of those essential oils also kind of just help me calm down a little bit. I often share it on my Instagram, so if you're interested, just let me know and I'll show you what we kind of do on that front. But that's also sort of like a little 1%er that I feel helps me kind of calm down and get ready for a good night's sleep. Now, another sort of new add-on or supplement that I've used to try and make sure that I get the best sleep possible is I've started using a CBD oil. It's really become an industry that's like super popular, and I get like weekly messages from CBD oil companies about try this product, sell this product onto your clients and things like that. I'm not affiliated to anybody, but I do use it as a product just because it's helped me to kind of unwind and calm down, clear my mind a little bit before bed. And also I was dealing with a bit of chronic back pain towards the end of last year. I think that also kind of helped to manage my inflammatory levels. I haven't actually checked the science on that, but I know that's one of the proposed benefits, and I've seen it firsthand from clients that I've had that have things like arthritis that use either CBD oils or creams or drops, things like that, to try and manage some of their inflammatory response. And I feel like for me it also gave me a little bit of a 1%er to help improve my quality of sleep, and then at the same time also manage some of my back pain. And then the last thing that we do is it's frowned upon, but it works for me. We do watch something on the laptop as we kind of like quieting down for bed. I know there's a lot of things about limiting your blue light exposure. For me personally, I don't think that's what was my obstacle to getting good sleep, so I haven't actually cut it out. I've toyed with the idea of getting sort of like those filter glasses and then using that as well, kind of like after dinner to really prepare for sleep, but I don't think that's probably my biggest obstacle. So we'll generally watch something in bed, kind of calm down, have a little bit of quiet time. I might read a little bit with the bedside lamp on, and then the last little piece is that I always go to sleep with a meditation. So there's a lot of cool apps out there that you can use. I've used Headspace as a sort of subscriber for more than a year, and I've moved over since to another app called 10% Happier, which I use for all my meditation, but there's a lot of cool sleep meditations there. There's also things that you can kind of download from Audible. I consume a lot of audiobooks, but there's a lot of kind of story time type meditations or ambient sound meditations for you to kind of also drift into sleep with. For me, these really help because I think my biggest obstacle is that my brain just starts to race and think of the work day and an email that I need to do and what I haven't kind of finished for today, or I need to follow up on this or X, Y, and Z, where that kind of delays my time to fall asleep and then eventually affects my quality of sleep. By kind of using all these tools together, I generally go into bed, I'm kind of a little bit more calmer, I'm a little bit more at peace with how the day is kind of gone, it's closed off, everything else I can pick up again tomorrow. And that's in a nutshell some of the tools and tricks that I use to make sure that I get the best sleep possible.